Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. I'm designing my son's graduation quilt today. So if you want to see how I go from this picture to this drawing, please stay tuned. It's time to get ready to take on this inspiration picture for my son's graduation quilt. I have been putting it off, but today is February 29th, 2020, and he graduates on May 22nd. I should probably go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to think about just some ways to design the quilt. I've given myself a little bit of a pattern or a system to get it drawn out. I have my graph paper right there. I have some colored pencils, and I have this inspiration picture. So let's look at what I've decided that I'm going to do here. Can you see that? Let's see if I can make it a little bit. I don't know. All right, so the first thing that I did was I kind of gave myself a finish date of 5/1/2020. Hopefully I can get it done before that. If not, that's okay. Because I've given myself a little bit of extra time. Oh, there was a perfect spot for it too. Okay. There it is. Oh. Okay. So I've decided on my finished measurements. It's going to be about a twin size 68 by 88. And then I'm going to decide the scale that I'm going to use on my graph paper, choose some colors and play with the values. And then I'll draw it out and color it in. And then I'll figure out how much of each fabric I'm going to need. And I have kind of a question to myself about, am I just going to get yardage or am I going to get fat quarters? Because of the pattern that I want to use, since I want to use the tumbling blocks, I don't need just one or two fabrics. So I have to think about that the more I draw it in. I have already kind of decided my scale on my graph paper here. I counted the number of squares on my one sheet, and what I did, let me see if I can show you, I put a little dash every 10 squares. So it's about 47 inches tall, or 47 squares vertical, and then about 37 squares horizontal. And since I want my quilt to be 68 by 88, I should be able to use 2 inches equals 1 square. So I'm going to document that right now. I'll write that down, and then I'll go ahead and block out my quilt area on my graph paper. I'll do that, and I'll show you what that looks like. I've drawn out my rectangle here for the boundaries of my quilt. And then I've also made some basic colorways. So from my picture here, I've chosen 3 main colors, and each one of those colors is going to be divided by value. You can see that I've chosen blue, yellow, and orange. And then for blue, if you look at the picture here, there's light blue near the top. I consider this light medium, and then this is light medium as well. And then here I consider medium dark, and then there's a little bit of the darkest here, and then a lot of what I consider darkest blue here. This could be black. I'm not sure yet. I think it's going to be a blue because Carter specifically asked for blue. And then when it comes to yellow, there's yellow and orange both here. And then so I consider the top light yellow, and then these along the edges here, these would be like the dark yellows. And then for the orange, I have light here, then medium orange, and then dark orange in the center. All right, now it's time to transfer this image onto my graph paper here. And I am not an artist, but I'm just going to kind of use proportion to decide how to transfer this. So if we start with the darkest blue right here. So I'm going to say that, well, what I think I'll do is I'll mark kind of halfway. This is just eyeballing. I'm not really super specific about it, but I want to eyeball what I think is halfway. And then as I'm working on the project, I'll have sort of an idea of how to get these proportions. All right, so starting with this darkest black. For the proportions, I'm going to choose a few points. I'm going to choose this point, and then maybe this point, and this point, this one, and this one, and just a variety of points through here so that I can see where the darkest black starts and ends. For this first point, it's just a smidge. I consider this like a smidge to the left of half. And I'm just going to mark it here. Let's see what I consider the halfway point. And for these, I actually could count them out. I think I will count them out so I know exactly what's halfway. And then I can kind of go from there. So this part is 34. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So here's my halfway. I probably need to count it again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, so I'll mark halfway here and then up at the top. And then I'll count it down from the sides as well. But I can mark some of this. I can mark the bottom point for sure right here. So I know that it's just a little bit to the left of halfway. So I'm just going to put it right here. And I'm going to make it kind of big because that's my demarcation line. So that's where my part is going to start. Let's go ahead and do this other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right, let's do one more count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I have my halfway point on this side as well. And then I'll mark it. I'll just go straight across and mark it on the other side. Okay, so I've marked all of my halfway points just as a reference to where I'm going to make my lines. All right, so if I look at this point, this is kind of just another little reference. I've marked halfway, so I would say this is about 3/4 of the way down from halfway. So if over here this is halfway, so it'll be like 1/4, 2/4, well no, not quite, 1, 2, 3, so about right here. Okay, again, it's pretty subjective, but I'm just kind of picking some points. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I'll do all the points first, and then I'll show you how I connect them to before I add color. I've drawn out kind of sketched out my design based on this photograph. I used the bottom to come up with the points here. You can see the points so that I could get the general shape of how I wanted the lava to look. And then for the rest of it, I just kind of played around with the shape and chose something that is kind of close. I'm not really sure. And I am not an artist, but I think that this can give me enough to get started with. So from this point, I'm going to start to label my colors and then choose the whatever color pencil I think would work. So like the top, I know it's going to be light blue. So I'm labeling that. And then here's my medium blue. And so on. And then this is medium blue. And then here it's going to be light yellow, light orange. I'll somehow mix those together. And then over here it's more light blue, then medium blue. This is also light blue, and this is going to be that medium dark blue. And then when it comes to this section, I'm just going to kind of draw out the lines to where I want each color to go. This is going to be the darkest blue. I can't write and hold the darkest blue. Okay, and so the only part I have to fill in the color with is this middle section. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you what I do with the colored pencils to get those different colors. I finished labeling all of my colors, and I have chosen my colors with my colored pencils. I actually have them going from lightest to darkest. These are my blues, these are my oranges, these are my yellows. I only have the 2 yellows, the custard, and then the regular yellow here. I'm not going to use that one. That's the yellow, but it's in a different brand. The last step is pretty simple, or the next to last step is pretty simple. I'm just going to color in what I've already labeled here. Probably after I color it in, I'll probably erase the pencil and then color it in so that I can see. Well, maybe not. Maybe I won't. I'll just leave the colors there so that I can see them when I go to decide how much fabric I need for each one. So let's color it in, and then we'll see what it looks like. Here is my finished design so far. It sort of has some resemblance to the original, but I am just taking a little bit of license because I don't draw so great. But I think it's going to be a great place to get the process started, and I'm going to now get ready to figure out how much of each fabric I need. I'm really ready to move on this quilt for my son's graduation. Like I said before, I'm really not an artist, but I'm satisfied with this as far as being a template or a starting point to figure out how much fabric I need and to get the fabrics chosen. One thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is I feel like the proportions are a little bit off. I feel like the lava should have been angled more towards the center, but I think that I'll be able to adjust that once I have it laid out on the floor. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to try that out after I get my fabrics as I lay out the quilt and see. Hopefully, if I can change that. When I see it, I might not want to do that, and that's okay. My next step in the next video, I'm going to show how I take this drawing and decide how much fabric I need of each color before I get the fabrics chosen. So stay tuned for that so that you can see how I go from this to my fabric choices and my fabric amounts. If you have any questions about what you've seen today in the video, leave them in the comments below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!